When you first start acting, you think you're supposed to be doing like a psychological breakdown of a character, and it's quite dry. You work with different directors who communicate with you in a different way. I did the movie with Claire Denis. She would show me paintings of Marlene Dumas and George Baselitz. We were shooting in Cologne, and I remember seeing a sculpture in the museum and suddenly realizing like, oh, this sculpture is what I'm trying to do as the performance. And then I realized after that, you don't have to be able to explain something in a literal way. The only thing that matters is the inspiration. And I get that from a lot of different paintings now. I'm Robert Pattinson, I'm an actor, and I am curating this year's Sotheby's Contemporary Curated. What I look for is when a piece kind of has its own language. It doesn't necessarily feel like it just exists for its own sake. It feels like it has a presence that hums with a bit of life. There's certain paintings where it kind of seems like the work almost created itself. Like Giacometti's sculptures, it always just feels like he's found them somewhere within himself. They're kind of totemic, profound, almost something animalistic about them. It's always so obvious to me when there's the spark there. I think the older you get and the more jobs you do, that you allow a certain amount of synesthesia, I guess you'd call it, between different art forms. It's just easier to connect them together. I like a lot of sketches by sculptors. I like it when they're trying to capture something before that the idea dissipates and it has a kind of urgency to it. I like artists working not in their chosen field. The Richard Serra, there's a kind of dynamism. He's just great at capturing movement. Up close, there's an enormous level of detail to it, which I'd only seen in photographs before, and I just love the shape of it. And like, it feels so much more dense, but still holds a lot of energy. Some of these works, it kind of feels like there's an energy, like with the de Kooning. We did it such a long time ago, and it just feels very, very present still and very exciting. And it is incredibly sensual. He's still kind of got the same set of tools, but this feels like he's trying to melt them into something else and create some kind of new form. The paintings that appeal to me look like they have a history and a story to them. Like Lynette's work, she's telling a story in color and texture, and you can feel there's a past and a future to her paintings. I think that appeals to me a lot. They feel like they're sitting in here like waiting for you to kind of address them, which I thought was quite interesting. I was really attracted to Figgis's work initially because of the sensuality. There is a creaminess to all of her paintings, but there's like a poison in it at the same time. And I was kind of looking at a lot of her different work, and it kind of feels like you're eating like a cake and you chip your tooth on something in it and you can't figure out exactly what chipped your tooth. There's something about the characters in her paintings where like they hold this authority. They always kind of seem like you're not really worthy of witnessing whatever it is that they're up to. Julie Muratou, I'd known about her giant paintings, but this is the first one I've seen which was quite smaller. They all feel like they're shot in slow-mo. You can almost feel just splashes come up. I mean, it just feels so incredibly detailed and quite sort of overwhelming. I like a lot of Kiefer's work. A lot of his paintings, I find that they kind of tower over you, but it's kind of all-encompassing at the same time. The Serras feel like they're kind of like an explosion, and the Kiefers feel like something. It's like there's a kind of, there's a gravity to them which is sort of sucking everything into it. It's a strange thing collecting. It seems like you need to know a lot. You can't just go into it totally blind. If your experience of art is either seeing it in a museum or seeing it in a public place or something, it's strange to actually cross that threshold of saying, I actually want this to be integrated into my life. It's actually quite odd to get there. And I think you need to sort of earn it in a way. Like you can't just be like, oh, I want this in my house. Otherwise it's just trapping it. If you don't really understand it, you don't really deserve it.